Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this video, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so, to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification icon, to be notified when the next one is uploaded. We appreciate all comments, whether positive or negative, because it is very important to ventilate both sides of any issue. All we ask is that you observe the YouTube community guidelines. While the F1 season is on its summer break, Sir Lewis's home country is in the grip of a socio-political crisis as protesters and counter-protesters are clashing all over the country. One of the alleged sponsors of the protests, Tommy Robinson, the founder of the English Defence League, notably came to the defence of Sir Lewis after he was attacked by certain sections of the so-called liberal left back in 2017. Tommy, who has just under 1 million followers on X, formerly known as Twitter, has been accused by government officials, politicians, and mainstream media of using his considerable platform to spread misinformation, with the objective of inciting his supporters against certain sections of society that he has been demonizing. The Daily Mail, one of the media outlets pointing the finger at Tommy, has 2.8 million followers on X, and has a long-standing reputation for inciting their readers against Sir Lewis. Elon Musk, who after buying Twitter, lifted the ban that his predecessors had placed on Tommy, has come under attack for allowing him and his ilk to use Twitter to spread misinformation and incite hatred. One of the outlets pointing the finger at Elon Musk is Sky, the broadcaster, with over 50 million Twitter followers, who have used their considerable platform to demonize Sir Lewis in the run-up to leading the gaslighting of Abu Dhabi. So, through one side of its mouth, Sky is pointing the finger at Tommy Robinson, who has under 1 million followers, for using Twitter to spread misinformation and incite hatred, while through another side of their mouth, they are using their much bigger Twitter platform and their own even bigger digital broadcasting platform to spread misinformation and incite hatred of Sir Lewis. As expected, Elon, who profits from conflict, hit back, accusing the UK of running a two-tier justice system, which discriminates against certain sections of society. The London Metropolitan Police Chief was one of those who denied this accusation while issuing a warning that keyboard warriors who spread online hate will be prosecuted. We are not aware that the Met have ever prosecuted any keyboard warrior for spreading online hatred of Sir Lewis, or the media outlets who publish articles designed to incite them to do so. The Prime Minister, who Elon directed his accusation at, on Twitter of course, also issued denials on Twitter as well. But as far as this is concerned, if anyone can provide any evidence of the then opposition Labour Party leader coming to the defence of Sir Lewis in 2021, or at any other time, please provide such in the comments section. Perhaps, maybe, possibly, perchance, the then opposition leader did not want to risk upsetting the media mogul and jeopardize his political ambitions. Willful ignorance or tactical cowardice is complicity. It's all well and good locking up the foot soldiers, even Merrick Garland locked up foot soldiers. The real test will come when going after the ringleaders and instigators. And we wait to see how the PM and the police will dispel accusations of a two-tier justice system by going after Tommy Robinson, without going after other higher-placed or closer affiliated spreaders of misinformation. The chickens that Sir Keir laid in opposition have come home to roost just in time for the commencement of his government. The current state of affairs in the UK has sparked considerable debate over how to curb the spreading of misinformation on social media, as if that is the only platform where such is taking place. This is a disingenuous attempt by those who have been involved in spreading misinformation either directly or indirectly, to divert attention away from themselves. There is no disputing the fact that a long-running war, which has been waged against the truth globally, has reached a crescendo this summer in the UK. But in their usual style, governments, politicians, and the mainstream media have tried to simplify this war, to suit their narrative. They have tried to point the finger at everyone but themselves and their media associates. But nothing could be further from the truth, because all sides are engaging in, or enabling the war against the truth, and the truth of the matter is that for equity to prevail, those who come to equity must come with clean hands. Governments, politicians, and mainstream media do not have clean hands on the matter of spreading misinformation. Elon Musk, at the very least, can claim rightly or wrongly that X is a platform, and he cannot be held responsible for how people use it. All that he can do is work on improving the monitoring of users. Governments and politicians, on the other hand, actively use social and mainstream media to push misinformation that suits their political agendas, like they were happy to do with Brexit, for example, or the Israel-Hamas conflict. Mainstream media are also renowned for propagating misinformation through their own platforms and social media, as many have been happy to publish articles designed to incite and monetize anti-Lewis sentiments and gaslight Abu Dhabi. Yet these governments, politicians, and mainstream media, serving a UK population estimated at 70 million, are without any sense of self-awareness, pointing the finger at social media and Tommy, who has just under 1 million followers. Now, before Harry and Meghan came along, the human target of the biggest concerted campaign of disinformation in recent years had been Sir Lewis, with the anti-Lewis propaganda culminating in Abu Dhabi 2021. A striking example of how he has been vilified over the years by all sides of the socio-political spectrum can be found in 2017, when Tommy was prompted to jump to his defense, after he had come under attack from a high-profile activist on the opposite side of the spectrum. The attack was from Owen Jones, the left-wing activist and Guardian newspaper columnist, who falsely labelled Sir Lewis a tax dodger. Now, consider the irony of a left-wing activist and supposedly liberal newspaper columnist spreading the false information that the right wing and their media routinely use to demonize Sir Lewis. We are not aware that The Guardian took any action against their columnist on this matter. This clearly demonstrates that people up and down the spectrum are not above spreading misinformation to suit their purpose, and Sir Lewis is a common target. So, spreading misinformation is the order of the day, as far as the mainstream media are concerned, from the license fee-funded BBC, to the publicly owned Channel 4, to the privately owned Sky Broadcasting, from the left-wing Guardian to the right-wing Daily Mail. They have all engaged in the demonization of Sir Lewis and the gaslighting of Abu Dhabi, so it is a bit rich of any of them to point the finger at Tommy. It is no coincidence that only someone with the media influence and experience of John Malone, the media mogul that bought Formula One, could attempt the gaslighting of Abu Dhabi. It is no coincidence that resistance to the Malone-inspired mainstream media gaslighting of Abu Dhabi can only be found on social media. For better or worse, social media is the last refuge for free speech. It is no coincidence that Twitter is the first platform that autocrats try to ban or control during periods of social unrest. It is much easier for those who wish to suppress or control public opinion to buy off or coerce media houses. The most striking example of a concerted campaign of misinformation in living memory is the mainstream media gaslighting of Abu Dhabi. Other contenders like Brexit and Stop the Steal were on national or regional levels, while Abu Dhabi was on a global level. In the case of Brexit and Stop the Steal, there were counter-arguments and dissenting voices that have persisted to date. Whereas with Abu Dhabi, the initial dissenting voices and counter-arguments quickly evaporated into thin air. So, whatever the criticisms of social media, it allows for conflicting opinions. John Malone of Liberty Media has demonstrated that a media mogul with his extensive influence can coerce mainstream media into waging a substantial war on the truth. It was down primarily to resistance on social media that he was forced to admit human error, but nevertheless, still held on to the proceeds of his corruption. It is not possible for those who are engaged in spreading misinformation, or willfully ignoring some sections of society who are, to wage any meaningful war against other propagators of misinformation, whose agenda does not align with theirs. You can't put the genie back in the bottle, to let out on day release when it suits you. You can't say it's okay to gaslight Abu Dhabi, but it's not okay to gaslight immigration. You can't target the keyboard warriors on Twitter, and ignore those on the Daily Mail. You can't target billionaire media moguls like Elon Musk, for enabling the keyboard warriors on their open Twitter platform, and ignore billionaire media moguls like John Malone, who enable audio-visual warriors on their closed broadcasting platform. You can't target Tommy Robinson for spreading misinformation to incite hatred and ignore those that have been spreading misinformation to incite hatred and gaslight Abu Dhabi.